Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, on our website, on our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Are you burned out on the Nautilus and the Aquanaut? You can't stomach another chronometre bleu post on social media? Well, Patek Philippe's range is deeper and more exceptional than you ever imagined. Venture beyond the mainstream and you find gems like this 5015J-001, part of a model series launched in 1994 and built through 1999. This is a 35mm yellow gold hunter caseback power reserve of extraordinary detail. And in profile, you can see it's a svelte 9.5mm thick and only 41.4mm from lug to lug with a 19mm spacing between the lugs. Now, of course, the watch wears easily on my 16cm circumference wrist, and I could recommend it for, well, I'm not going to give you a lower limit for this watch. I think a wrist of any size is going to wear this watch well. If you have that truly petite wrist or a taste for traditionally sized timepieces, this is going to be right up your alley. And I always felt that yellow gold wears best with the best manners and best taste when it is in a small size. And this watch is not precisely small, but it's not a hulking modern watch, and that's all to its advantage. If you take a look at the strap, you can see it's high gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather, monotone stitch, black, folded edge showing the layers of construction. On the underside though, you can see this is a brand new Patek Philippe factory strap with calfskin on the bottom, a simple Patek Philippe yellow gold buckle, and note the use of screws on the flank of the buckle. That is designed to echo the officer's style case. Now, of course, officers' watches of this style are a tribute to the converted pocket watches of the first quarter of the 20th century, most of which came about during the First World War when it was not practical to be reaching for your pockets in the trenches, and officers, among others, would wear pocket watches converted to wrist watches with pocket watch style cases featuring straight lugs welded directly to the case, and then because we were pre-spring bar, you would have bars retaining the strap fixed in place by screws, a secure solution then and now, and you can see that is still how these straps are fixed to the lugs. You'll also note that the case construction is sophisticated with the lugs welded directly to the case. That's old school construction. Today this would be machined or stamped, but you can't create that sharp break between the two surfaces by machining or stamping. And to create the sharp break without any evidence of the weld, you have to first weld and then hand finish. So this is an extraordinarily handmade watch inside and out. Another tribute to the pocket watch era, we have an onion style crown and a hunter style hinged caseback, which would have been common on pocket watches. You can see there's a pusher adjuster for the Moonphase complication, and you get the best of both worlds. You get all the gold of the solid caseback, and then you also get the display caseback. It's powered by the 240 micro rotor, but first let's talk a little bit about the dial. The tolerances, by the way, of the caseback are outstanding. There is a lovely beaded surround to this bezel. I prefer this by far to many of the standard Patek Philippe bezel solutions because it makes a smaller watch read mighty. The degree of articulation, the polishing, the detail, the amount of visual force that this beaded bezel adds, it's almost as though it's channeling the spirit, if not the precise form, of an early Breitling Navitimer. Now the dial is extraordinary. It's white, not silver, but truly white, with radially arrayed Arabic numerals in a lovely, almost Art Nouveau font. This is definitely pre-Art Deco, a little bit more whimsical, again, representative of the first quarter of the 20th century. You can see there's a Moonphase display. You've got your small seconds, you've got a power reserve, and the watch, though rated for 48 hours, in truth will run just a little bit longer than that. You can manually wind it, or it can automatically wind itself. There's a railroad track outboard, and you can see, if you look carefully, that the hands at center are blackened white gold in a handsome first quarter 20th century form. Turn the watch over, we'll talk a bit about the running gear. Caliber 240 arrived in 1977, and since then it has been the premier Patek Philippe automatic, with the 315s, the 335s, and the 324s being the more mainstream automatics. The 240 is the premium one. 22 karat gold micro rotor gives you the thin profile of manual wind, giving you the open caseback of a manual wind. It doesn't block your view of the works. Now the watch features a Gyromax style free sprung balance, so it's comparatively more shock resistant than a standard dress high horology movement would be. The Gyromax, first invented in roughly 1950 at Patek Philippe. It was their proprietary innovation. 29 jewels. You can see it features the Poisson de Genève. It is a Geneva hallmark movement. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour and potentially between 48 and 50 hours of power reserve. Now, because of the Geneva hallmark, this 30-meter water-resistant watch features a high degree of finish. That is the imprimatur of quality for watches built in the canton or city of Geneva. You can see the rich Côte de Genève perfectly aligned across the bridges. There is a filed anglage on the edge of every bridge. You can see the engine turning, or perlage, overlapping on the base plate. Côte de Genève also on the 22-karat micro rotor. All of the screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots in circumference, and then there is satination on every one of the individual wheels as well as their spokes. So the attention to detail here is truly special. This is not a common piece. You will see reams of Patek Philippe steel sports watches for every one of these. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.